What's up, my beloved souls? Blessed be, blessed day. Welcome to Soul Sex. I'm Autumn, the Enlightened Daughter. For those of you who don't know me, for those of you who do, welcome back, High Vibe Tribe. So, I just wanted to jump on real quick and talk about like toxic femininity, toxic feminine, that energy. We have there's so much going on in the collective. Hold on, sorry, I think I just got a message. Um, we just have so much going on in the collective of, you know, men are in power and we need to kind of squash that power in order for the divine feminine energy to rise up, which is not true, right? There's a distortion in the masculine energies, there's a distortion in the feminine energies going on right now. And part of the reason that I started the coaching program, the two coaching programs that I've launched recently, is because they're two halves to the same whole, right? We have women that have dealt with cancer and the treatments and the shame, the guilt, the pain, the lack of love, the hurt, the betrayal, all the things that go along with that energy, right? And when you're feeling like that, more often than not, you're projecting those energies onto another person, right? And that can be very challenging to have all of these things going on within your body and then trying to express that to someone who may not know how to receive your messages, right? That's the other side of the coin with the male intimacy. Men aren't necessarily supported in our society to speak up, right? They're not necessarily supported in expressing their emotions. It can be challenging for them sometimes to say how they feel. I think we forget um sometimes, because of the gender norms and societal norms that we put on people, that men have feelings too, right? They have the same emotional body that women do, and it's just expressed in a different way. And it's expressed in a different way. It's expressed in a different way, mainly because it's not supported for them to express their emotions, right? It's, a man starts to cry or he's upset about something. It's like, oh, you're being a bitch, you're being emotional, you're acting like a little girl, right? These are all the things that you say that can be said. And so we have this anger, this frustration, this volatility, these built up and pent up emotions going on, right, within our men. And they can make them very angry, very volatile. They're going to hit something, kill something, take something, right, in their frustration. So, two sides, same coin, right, having the same conversation. And, my beautiful women, I hate to be the one to break it to you, but women can be very nasty, manipulative, and toxic and condescending and judgmental, right? And in a structure where a woman feels physically weaker than a man, right? What is her only avenue of recourse, right? What's the only thing that she can do to defend herself, right? Use her words, use her mouth, right? So the things that can be projected out of a woman who is not in her right energy, who's not feeling loved, who's not loving herself, who's not feeling respected, who's not feeling seen, who's struggling with her own physical health and mental health and emotional health. And there's this back and forth, and we're attacking one another. We're attacking, right? And when we have anger and bitterness and resentment stored within our body, guess what we get to manifest? Some type of dis-ease, some type of illness, right? Cancer, no matter where it's located in your body, is stored up resentment and anger. Doesn't matter where it's stored in your body. Where it's stored in your body is going to show us more than likely where that it's going to give me a stronger indication as to how it played out in your life. But at the end of the day, it's resentment and anger stored in your body, right? And forgiveness is a huge healing balm to that. And men are killing themselves disproportionately, right? 80% of all of all suicides each year are done by men. Why are they killing themselves? They don't have a place to talk. They can't express themselves. They're angry. They're frustrated. Um, some of them dealing with health issues and they don't have anyone that they can express that to. And when they do try to express it, if they happen to be in a relationship with a woman who's a little toxic and um, not necessarily healed, then those same emotions, those same feelings, that same expression then gets used against them, right? And so we have this like push pull going on, right? It's like, oh, you're a man and I need you to express yourself. I need you to tell me how you feel, blah, blah, blah. Okay, you say that. And then when he does, you turn around and throw it in his face, use it against him, or condescending, toxic, nasty remarks, and to make him feel less than, right? And so we need to acknowledge that we're all the bad guy in somebody's story. We need to acknowledge that everybody makes mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes. I haven't met a perfect person yet. 45 years walking this earth this time around, have yet to meet a perfect person. And if you think you're perfect, you're fucking delusional. You're delusional. And you're lying to yourself. We're all the bad guy in somebody's story. We all make mistakes, right? But using someone's vulnerability, someone's emotions, someone's feelings, someone's weakness against them makes you the monster. It makes you the bad guy. It makes you disgusting, right? You're not better than that person by dropping down to that level. You're not helping the situation by dropping down to that level. If you're not going to be supportive, right, in those moments, then you don't have the right to feel resentment, anger, bitterness, or condemnation when you don't receive that same energy, right? You get what you give. And that's a hard conversation to have, right? It's a hard conversation to realize that maybe I'm bitter, maybe I'm resentful, maybe I'm condescending and judgmental and manipulative, right? And owning that and trying to figure out where it came from, right? This conversation isn't about judgment and criticism. This conversation is about self-awareness. It's about self-knowledge, right? Self-respect. When we acknowledge how we're showing up in our dynamics, when we acknowledge who we are as women and the roles that we play, good, bad, or indifferent, then we're empowered. But you don't get power by trying to make someone feel less than, right? It's like the bully energy, right? Like, oh, you're a big tough guy by picking on somebody, weaker than you. Oh, you're such a strong woman by making this man feel less than in this moment when he decided to come to you with his honesty and vulnerability, right? Oh, you're such a big strong man by beating on this woman and on these kids, right? No, like we see these things and we're like, no, that doesn't make you better than the person next to you. But hey, acknowledge I fucked up, or acknowledge I made a mistake, or acknowledge, you know what, like I screwed that up, right? Like I should have been better in that situation. I could have held space for them. And we all need to be seen, heard, loved, feel valued, worthy, deserving. Like that's everybody across the board. Everybody needs to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved innately, whether they know that consciously or not, right? And I'm talking about healthy expressions of love because many of us grew up with distorted expressions of love that will make you think that love is painful and hurtful and just disgusting. How many times has someone said I love you and then did some really fucked up shit to you? I get it. I understand. I get it and I understand. I'm not excusing those people. I'm saying you take ownership of you and where you're showing up. I'm saying look in the mirror and see, hey, have I become that person? Because a lot of you are repeating patterns and behavior patterns that you have a problem with. A lot of you are doing shit to others that you don't want to be done unto you, and then you're wondering why it keeps coming back to you. I had a friend who used to always talk shit, judge, criticize, spent so much of their time just worried about somebody else's lives and the things that they were doing and judging and criticizing and having something to say about everything that was going on in their life, right? How the women were showing up, how the mothers, how they were as a mother, how they were as a wife, da 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 da. This person was not married. This person wasn't really in contact with their children's fathers. This person was suffering with health issues, right, on the low and didn't really have anyone to talk to. Why? Because that you get what you get. People were constantly talking about them behind the back and they couldn't understand why. And I'm like, you're always talking about other people behind their back. Do you think that you're the exception to the rule? No. What you put out into the universe, you're gonna get back. And guarantee when it comes back to you, it's not gonna taste the same, right? It's like eating a food And then, you know, it tastes one way going down, but when it comes back up, it doesn't taste nearly as nice, right? It's a completely different flavor. That is karma in and of itself, right? So be careful what you quick to swallow over there, because what comes up you may not like, you won't like actually. So just acknowledge that, ladies, you can be really fucked up, you know, just point blank and simple. Like, know it, own it. Know it and own it. When you're using people, when you're manipulating, when you're lying, when you're judging, when you're being condescending, when you're and someone's expressing their vulnerabilities to you and you use it against them. And I'm not just talking about the men in your life, I'm talking about anyone. You know, the men in your life, your children, perhaps. I hear a lot of moms very condescending, you know, when they're talking to your children. It's like, wow, you make excuses for, let's have that conversation. So let's say, ladies, you're in a relationship with a man, right? He's a fuckboy, point blank and simple. I don't care how you word it. I don't care how you try to excuse his toxic behavior, his narcissism, whatever. You're dating a fuckboy. You will make excuses and allowances for this man and his behavior 100 times over, but then your child, who just got on the earth, I don't know, maybe like a decade or so ago, makes a mistake, and you're ready to fucking eat their shit and rip their heads off, right? Why do we have such high expectations for our children and yet such low expectations for ourselves and our mates? That's a problem, and a foolish one at that, right? Everyone is someone's child, first and foremost, and everyone develops at a different level in their life, right? We're not on the same level. How I grew up is not how a lot of my friends grew up. So my awareness, my survival skills, my protective nature, my aggression is very different from someone who didn't have to grow up like that. Someone who grew up safe and loved and protected. They're not going to show up in the same world as me. You know what I mean? I knew that when I started working and going out in the world, and I'm like, how are you so fucking oblivious to shit? But they didn't have to have the same lessons that I had, right? So we're all different. So you need to be mindful about how you're showing up, mindful about how you're showing up for yourself, mindful how you're showing up in these relationships with these men, mindful about how you're showing up with your children, and take ownership, right? We're all the bad guy in somebody's story. I don't give a fuck how you word it. I don't care how you try to excuse it. I don't care about the things that you went through in your childhood. We all went through stuff, and I'm not excusing or diminishing the traumas, the dramas, the pains, the abuses that you might have experienced. I'm saying, okay, that stuff happened. What about you right now today? Because I can be a culmination of all my mistakes and toxicity and hold on to that energy, or I can move the fuck on and stop giving my power away and realize that they don't get another moment from me, right? What happened then is what happened then, point blank and simple, and now it's time to move on. And now it's time to move on. You don't get another moment of my time. You don't get my energy. You don't get my emotions. You don't get the mental space that you were clouding up by replaying that stuff in my mind. No, and I get to look at my life and go, okay, how am I showing up? Right? Am I showing up? Am I going to do the same thing to the people that I love as my abusers did to me? Is that actually a form of love? Is my viewpoint of love distorted? Do I even know what healthy love looks like? Like, start having these very real conversations with yourself so that you can start healing yourself and transforming yourself. I'm say it again, we're all the bad guy in somebody's story. And ladies, it's time to own your shit. I'm seeing way too many women. I'm seeing way too many women having these massive fucking surgeries. And a lot of it just stems from not dealing with your own spirit and with your own emotions and with your anger and your resentment and your bitterness. I understand life happens, and I understand things are complicated, and I understand things get hard, and I understand that people can fucking suck. I understand. Okay, I've been sexually assaulted, I've been raped, I've been used, I've been lied to, I've been abused, I've gone through fucked up shit, right? Neglected, like feeling abandoned, like all the shit, right? I went through a whole ton of shit, but I still have to own where I showed up in this world, and I wasn't a nice person. And maybe I wasn't a nice person at those times because of the abuses and the things that I was going through. Maybe I thought, and I know for a while I did thought, a lot of the distortions that I played out, I thought were examples of love, right? Because if you grow up thinking that some toxic shit is love, and then you're going out in the world expressing love in that manner, you don't realize until you unlearn that pattern that, that's actually not what the healthy love looks like, right? If you spend your whole life drinking water that's been colored with iodine because that's all you know, and then somebody hands you a glass of just fresh spring water and there's nothing in it, you're going to be confused because you don't know what that anomaly is, right? Like, what is that? You're going to be very confused. You're going to be very lost, very dazed, very confused, and you're going to think that they're trying to poison you, right? Not understanding that actually they're giving you the purity of what they are. It's the same thing in our worlds, in our relationships, and with our emotions, right? Some of you have been drinking freaking water with iodine your whole life, and that's all you know. And now that this pure essence is coming to you, the pure blessing is coming to you, you don't know how to receive it. You don't know how to receive it. You don't know what that feels like. You don't know what healthy love is. You don't know what self-respect is. You don't know what self-love is. You don't know what deservingness is. And I'm not talking about, oh, my hair is always done and my nails are always done and I look good, because that external shit ain't got nothing to do with internally, because I know a whole bunch of bad bitches that are broken fucking souls. Suicidal, depressed, no healthy relationships, um, health problems going on that nobody really knows about. Shit like that, right? On the outside, they look phenomenal on deck. Inside, shit show. And it's very clear it's a shit show. I can tell by your health what's going on with you. I can tell you by your relationships what's going on with you internally, because your outside world is a reflection of your inside world. Whether you want to believe that or not. Okay? So, time to own your shit, ladies. Time to step up to the plate. Time to realize that sometimes we're the bad guy in somebody's story. And time to hold a container for the men in your life that are trying to grow up emotionally right now and need to be supported. It doesn't mean that we sit there and we coddle them and act like they're fucking babies, because it seems to be like two extremes, right? It's either we're coddling men and completely emasculating them, which is awful and disgusting, right? It's like, what do you want, like a world full of little fucking girls? No, it's unhealthy and it makes no fucking sense, right? So it's like we're either like completely emasculating them and taking away any parts of them that would make them a man or masculine, or we're accusing them of being monsters, right? Just anything that they say or they do, it's awful. It's just like, where's the balance? Where's the balance? Men are not monsters and they're not little girls. They have a purpose, just like women have a purpose, right? When I meet men, I'm a woman, right? So when I meet someone, it's like, hey, girls, I was like, I'm a grown woman. My daughter is a girl. She's 10. I'm a woman. I have been for many years now. Like, do not insult me like that. Same thing with men. I do not insult them by calling them little boys. You're not a little boy. I expect you to act like a man, be responsible, be a leader, protect, provide. But as a woman, I also have my responsibilities, right? I also need to lead in the household, right? Because if the man is leading the woman, and who's leading the children, right? It's a little drip down effect, right? I need to lead. I need to know how to communicate. I need to have compassion, hold space for everyone in my home, right? I need to provide that nurturing energy. I need to be a support system for the head of the house, right? If the man is the head, I need to be the fucking neck so that he can do his swivel and be good with that, and not have to worry that the neck is doing some other shit and not being supported, right? We all have a purpose. It's the yin and yang of the world. There is nothing wrong with masculinity and there's nothing wrong with femininity, except when they're being pushed to not be within their own energies and to be something else. There's a lot of masculine women out here right now, and that's not intentional. I know I was in masculine energy most of my life because I did not feel it was safe to be in female energy. Constantly being over sexualized, constantly being made to feel weak then, right? So like, to me, I saw women being abused, being raped, being beat on. And why would I want to be that? Why would I want to be weak? Why would I want to be abused? Why would I want to be raped? Why would I want to be broke? Why would I want to struggle? Because that was all I saw with women. And so I had to be in masculine energy for most of my life. I had to learn how to get out there, how to hustle, how to tell everybody to kiss my ass, how to stand and have those conversations with the boys, how not to be intimidated when sexual innuendos were being made at me over and over again, and how to give it right back. Like, I had to do that. And a lot of the bitches I know had to do that too. And so when you're in masculine energy most of your life, and then all of a sudden you're in these relationships where you're supposed to be submissive, right, to a man, but meanwhile you've been the man most of your life. It's like, well, where does he fit in? So then you have these really masculine women dating men that have been kind of emasculated, right? They're a little bit weaker now. Now they're the submissive ones, and now there's a flip in the household. So now the woman is expected to do what the man is supposed to do, but still be a woman. It makes one very resentful, very angry, right? And to both sides, right? Because the man is kind of resentful. Yeah, he appreciates the stuff that you're doing, but he's kind of resentful because then he feels less than, right? Push-pull dynamic. We have it keep going back and forth. This is why we all need to take ownership of our shit. This is why we need to stand in our truth, and we need to like look at it and be like, how am I showing up? You know, ladies, if you're looking to be in a relationship with a man, do you have space for him in your life? You know what I mean? I mean, you can physically create space by, like, you know, moving some of your clothes to the side of the closet, or emptying out one of your drawers, or, you know, emptying out a nightstand, sleeping on one side of the bed. You know, those are just energetic examples of how you can move that energy around. But think emotionally. Does this person have space? Are you creating space? Do you immediately get defensive in these situations? Do you know how to clearly communicate? Have you expressed your expectations, or are you sitting there being resentful and miserable about some shit that you think that they're supposed to know, but hasn't actually left your mouth because you assume that they're a fucking mind reader, right? It's like, take ownership of yourself. Did you say something? I don't know how many times I've had conversations, whether it's with my friend group or, you know, with clients either. And it's like, you're so mad at a person about A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm like, okay, cool. Did you have that conversation with them yet? Humana. No. You're having a conversation with everyone but them, then you obviously are okay with the situation. You're not okay with the situation. All right, well, then what are you going to do about it? You're talking to everybody about them but them. When do you get to take your power back and confront that situation? Right? And I'm not talking about those that have crossed over to the other side of the veil, right? I'm talking about those that are physically here that you can do something about, especially when it comes to your partnerships. All right? Especially when it comes to your partnerships. We're all the bad guy in somebody's story. It is what it is. Owning it, accepting it, loving yourself through it in spite of it is okay. Like, own it. I know I'm not perfect. I know I have a fucking temper. I love to curse. Like, cracks me up that it throws people off. They're like, oh, you curse a lot. I'm like, then don't fucking talk to me. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is, right? I know I have a temper. I know I love to curse. I know I'm super energetic, right? I'm super high vibrational. More than likely, if you're going through some heavy shit, I'm not going to see it the same way, and I'm going to try to turn it around. I'm going to motivate you. I'm going to encourage you, but I also give zero fucks. And I'm very honest, and I'm very blunt, and I'm very to the point, right? I'm a New Yorker. I get to the point. I like to get shit done in 5 seconds. And I'm very honest with people, right? Because I want honesty in return. And so people get thrown back like that. Like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, but maybe you shouldn't put the. No. Bitch, are you dumb? Homie, are you dumb? Are you stupid? Did you not just hear what they said? Did you not just see what happened? Why are you doing the same thing over and over again, right? Like, I'm going to have that real conversation with you. And some people can take that truth and some people can't. But I had to have those conversations with myself, right? Every healing, every activation, every process that I bring my clients through, that I bring my tribe through, I have gone through before. When I tell you I get my ass rocked and handed to me by the divine way before I have these conversations with y'all, it's way before. I would have gotten put over the knee and got my ass spanked. And then I have those conversations because I had to grow through it first. It's the only reason I can come at y'all and have these conversations, right? It's either directly coming through me or through my tribe, in which it's coming through me at some point anyway, right? Because we're all connected. So you got to own your shit. Own it, right? Good, bad, or indifferent. Own it, own it, own it, own it. And then move forward. Awareness is a powerful tool because when you know better, you get to do better. When you know better, you do better. It's really that simple, right? And setting the intention to do better, setting the intention to learn. Ask the Holy Spirit to just reveal to you, what are my blocks? Where am I holding myself back, right? Am I the weapon that has formed against myself, causing me not to prosper? Like, be very clear and very authentic and very patient with yourself. Because when the shit starts coming up and it's going to get nasty, it's going to get ugly, it's going to happen real quick, be patient and forgiving with yourself. Because, like I said, we're all the bad guys, somebody's story. And we all got to take ownership for it. And we all deserve forgiveness. So, whether you're offering it or receiving it, everyone deserves your forgiveness and your love. All right? I'm going to leave it there. Soul Sex Tribe. Love you so much. Ladies, I know you might have thought I was being hard on you, but I'm a lady too. You know what I'm saying? I'm a woman too. I'm out here in these streets doing it with you, right? And I'm loving you through the process, but we got to own our shit. If we want better men in this world, we have to be better women and vice versa. Point blank and simple. All right. I love you. God loves you. Angels surround you. And I will see you later. Later, Soul Sex Tribe.